Good morning. Time for another Dogs on the Run. The best part of the show has already happened. We gave you the opening. That was great. What a game yesterday. The Browns lose to the Oakland Raiders 27-20. A game that I think you'll look back on and go, why didn't they win that game? A lot of things to talk about. Pierre Woods is here. Mike Cairns is here. You will be here at 216-431-3820. Also, you can Skype in at Dogs on the Run. We're going to Periscope today as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna be up on Periscope. So if you have the Periscope app and you follow me on Twitter, you'll get a live, up close, personal look. I'll show you everything.
If this is it's your first time on the show, there are zero rules on the show. We don't do a production meeting. We don't do anything. We're just basically sitting here on your computer talking about the Browns game from yesterday. If you want to drop an S-bomb, an F-bomb, whatever you want to do, you can do whatever you want. We do it just to see if Pierre will smile and laugh, because he's mean, man. I got to tell you, I'd be scared to go up against you in the NFL. If I was on the other side, I'd be scared to go up against you in Cleveland Heights and Glenville. Are you kidding?
Yeah,
I'm like,
and that's
get me away
somebody,
from
you
Pierre.
know, I didn't talk trash on the field. I just love to, you know, if somebody talk trash, I got even.
That's all you did?
That's it.
They felt the pain the next day?
I hope so.
The pain of Saturday morning in Northeast Ohio after a Glenville game on a Friday night or Sunday or whatever you want to do it. We also, in our lack of having rules and what else do we not have? We want to thank everyone at the stadium that showed up this morning. Have you noticed this?
Yeah, that's great.
I mean, these guys are great.
It's great.
Talk about great fans. Do you have any idea what we're doing?
Yeah.
See him
Is
right
there
there.
fake?
How many calls I had to make?
They're
sure
all out
I
here.
was
They're doing real good.
All right, let's bring in Eric, the referee, who's clueless as most weeks. But
Good
Eric,
morning,
what do you
Mr.
got?
Hoskin. Good morning. Another
See-
great performance.
see, you
by
have lived
the,
up to your
Browns. I want
expectations.
to know if Pierre Woods can stop the run, because obviously the Browns can't. So they should be calling you right now.
They should. I mean, you got to beef it up on the outside. You got to beef up the outside. I'm 250 pounds. I mean, I can get up to 260 easily. So, and I can still run like the wind blows, like Forrest Gump.
I'm scared of you. All right, so let's go around the horn. We're going to bring in our other member of the team right now, and that's Kenny Rhoda, who's standing by in the Kenny Rhoda studios. Brought to you by anybody yet? Did you sell that studio yet?
Still working on it, but here's the team that matters. Media day today. Officially, Cavs season has started. It didn't come soon enough, unfortunately, for Browns fans.
All right, let's go around the horn. I want your first thoughts. I wish we had so we have this button, and if you're watching this.
Final thoughts.
We have final thoughts. Well, let's start with first thoughts, because we're that technically sound. By the way, I want to thank everybody. If you're listening to the show, and I just want to make sure everybody knows all the rules before we start, because there are no rules, but we are also a podcast now, so if you're calling in or you're Skyping in or you're watching on Parasite, this is our 7:30 Monday show. People are laughing. What? Parasite.
Periscope.
Yeah.
It's Periscope. Get it right. Or
All
get
right,
the
let's
flag.
go around the horn. Kenny, why don't you start us off, because I'm mumbling this morning. Tell me your thoughts on the game. Initial thoughts. Go.
Initially, I had the Browns winning this game. I thought they would beat this team that hadn't won a game in the Eastern time zone since 2009 against a second-year quarterback who had never won a road game. I thought because of a horrible Raiders defense that even Josh McCown and this running game would get going, and they failed to do so. The defense was atrocious. Josh McCown, sorry, I've seen it. I've been there. I've watched enough of it. I didn't want to see it before this game. I pet wet with him. I said, all right, that's fine, but I don't need to see him anymore. I know what I'll get out of him. Let's see what you get out of Johnny Manziel the rest of the way. I don't need to see Josh McCown anymore. It's not all his fault from yesterday, but we're looking to the future. They're 1-2, and they're going nowhere fast. So let's see what Johnny can do for the rest of the season.
Kenny, let me just call you out a little bit on that. If you're Mike Pettin, who would you have started?
I would have started Johnny Manziel.
If you think you've got a better chance to win, and you know you're coaching for an owner that fires coaches like that, are you still going to start Johnny Manziel?
Yes, I am, because I know that owner will still pay me the remainder of my contract, even if I get fired and I'll get another job in the NFL somewhere else.
Excellent answer. Mike, give me your first thoughts.
Defense was atrocious. Just absolutely, it was garbage yesterday. And the fact that they still can't stop the run, they're not going to win any football games if they can't stop the run. I mean, that's just the most basic of all NFL life. You can't close games. You can't win games. The offensive line was horrible. I don't think it's all on the running. I don't think it's all on the running backs. Gave up 5 sacks to the Raiders yesterday. Didn't put any pressure on Derek Carr. I mean, Derek Carr looked like Fran Tarkington out there. I mean, whatever he wanted to do at any given time, the Browns made him look like a Hall of Famer. And Amari Cooper, to me, he looked like he'd been playing for 10 years in the league. Now, whether or not Joe Hayden was hurt, we've heard that he may have a rib injury. There may be something else wrong with him, that he got hurt. He fell on Cooper early in the game, and he talked about it after the game. Whatever. Amari Cooper looked great yesterday, so they've got a lot of things to fix as far as I'm concerned. And San Diego's a team that turns the ball over a ton. That still doesn't make me feel any better after they should have at least won 2 of these first 3 games.
Pierre, first thoughts.
Well, my first thoughts goes like this. The defense has to play better. Got to stop the run. If you ain't got nobody out there that can, on the right side, our left side, the defensive side, that can stop the run, you got to take Mingo out. And Joe Hayden, if you hurt, come out the game. I mean, it's a pride thing with a lot of guys, but you got to come out the game. You got to make sure there's somebody that can go in there that can stop somebody. Like Amari Cooper to get off the way he got off is terrible. You know, you're a rookie, you getting beat up, you getting beat by a veteran. I mean, a rookie's killing a veteran. That's terrible. It doesn't make any sense right now. And we just got to play better. We have to play better.
All right, first of all, let me just kind of hop in this, and we're going to go to the phones because I know George is waiting on the line here too for a second. You can't say we're going to stop the run and we're going to run the ball and then turn in a garbage performance where your rushing attack is 39 yards. Let's just start there. So, you know, words into action is something that the Browns want to talk about. The action of 39 yards is pathetic. You've got to be able to. Now, I understand you're down 20-3 and you're going to have to pass the ball a little bit more in the second half, but don't put yourself in that position early on in the game. You've got to establish the run. Josh McCown looked like he hadn't played in 10 years to start that game yesterday. For the second game this year, the team wasn't ready out of the gate. That's straight on coaching, and that's also motivation for players. If you're going to get a paycheck and you're going to cash it every 2 weeks, at least show up for the first quarter. That didn't happen yesterday. Otherwise, your offensive line, which is pretty good, I still think Alex Mack is hurt, but you want to get back to why you can't run the ball? Well, the offensive line isn't doing anything to help you. You can't stop the run, and you can't run the ball. You knew that going into the season, and it's not words into action. It's words that are biting you in the ass right now. That's what it is. If you're going to say this is what it is, it's what it is.
First principles of defense is to stop the run. First principle of offense is to run the ball. If you can't do that, you can't set up the pass, and that's just the way it goes.
All right, let's go to George, and we're going to go back to Kenny here in a second too, but let's go to George, who's on Skype 1. George, I've seen you out advertising now, the way you are on the show. You know, you want people to come see you because you think you are the real Browns fan, correct?
Well, this real Browns fan says it real simple, okay? When you don't block and you don't tackle, you deserve an ass kicking. As simple as that. Football's about blocking and tackling and also executing on special teams and not turning the ball over. I knew Amari Cooper would look like a superstar, and he did. He shredded our defense. David Carr, who actually got his lumps in the first year, looked like a mature quarterback. There was a fucking valiant comeback, but I threw my hat more times than I did my front snowy here.
Oh, my gosh.
So that's how the fuck I feel this morning, but I'll live with it. Now I got to go to the West Coast and pray that, 1, the field doesn't catch fire, or 2, we can actually try to get a W out there.
It may be a good thing if we catch fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might be the only thing
Well,
that's
I
on
think
fire.
it might not have paid off for the Stellars eastward, because I hear Roethlisberger might have a knee injury.
Yeah, 4 to 6 weeks, torn ligament in his knee. I'm just curious, what is your relationship with Snowy?
Snowy, well,
my
we're
God.
good. We're good companions on Sunday. This is a present my wife bought me for my birthday. It's a Build-A-Bear.
It's amazing to see the two sides of you, George, because you have this violent side that wants to drop an F-bomb left and right on the
Well,
Browns,
you got
and
the
then there's
no
the softer
rules.
side of George.
Compare it to your radio station. You got to be clean and all that. Can't use the 7 dirty words on television or radio.
All right, just tell me, what do you think they need? So what do they need to do next week, George?
Well, they're going to put McCown in. I know they're going to put McCown in. Try to put a great fucking face on it. I got to listen to that public relations bullshit. So I'll just go through it. And we'll see how long it takes. The incompetence in the not only coaching but front office. I think we get Ray Farmer back after the San Diego game, don't we?
Yeah, his suspension's over, so everything will be all right when he comes back.
Yeah.
No, with prayer. We could use Pierre Woods as a linebacker. That would be a great idea.
Ray
All
don't
right,
like
George,
it.
you and Snowy and your wife have an outstanding day. We appreciate
we
your time.
will have an outstanding day. Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, George.
All right, George was I'm going to say, George, we love you, but you were about a C today. You didn't bring it today.
George was kind of docile
Yeah,
today.
he went back and forth, especially after all the tweets he had about how
Him and
strong he was
Snowy
going to
had a
bring it
good
today.
time yesterday.
All right, I want to go back to Kenny for a second. Hi, Kenny. Kenny, let's go into this quarterback talk, because then I'll let you start it off. There's no way Johnny Manziel was going to get on the field yesterday. They would have been had him down 35 points for that to happen. And there's no way Johnny Manziel's starting next week, correct?
Never say never, but 99.9% is probably the percentage I'd give that your statement there is accurate. For me, I thought George actually made a good point. He mentioned that Derek Carr played last year and took his lumps, and look what happened this year. Well, if Johnny Manziel is going to be your future quarterback, or you think he might have that chance, he's got to take his lumps sometime. And right now, this is not a good football team. They haven't been able to stop the run since 1999. They haven't been able to run the football since 1999. Josh McCown is a journeyman quarterback at best. You saw what you get out of him. One good half, one bad half. He can't make the throws down the field. How many times guys were open? He didn't put enough air under the ball or enough zip on the ball, so he's not knowing what ball to throw yesterday. Johnny Manziel led you to a victory last week. I don't think Johnny Manziel is the starting quarterback in the National Football League. But you know what? You need to find out whether he is or not, and this is not a team that's going to the Super Bowl this year. So I say play him, start him this week on the road at San Diego, see what he can do. He can't do any worse than what Josh McCown did in the first half. You're down, what was it, 17-3, 20-3 at halftime, whatever the score was.
Yeah,
that's a big hole to climb out of. And I need to see what I have in Johnny Manziel moving forward and see if I need to draft a quarterback next year. I think we said this last week after his game in which he led the Browns to a victory. Let's find out.
All right, off to the phone
real
lines.
quick, Nate Ulrich saying on Twitter, too, that X-rays, Josh McCown had X-rays on his right hand after the game.
We knew that yesterday.
It came back negative. Now, I mean, you don't know if that's going to have any effect next week. I mean, he could miss some practice time. So
He said, well, no, he said he was all right yesterday after the game, and they knew he had X-rays. You just said the X-rays. Nate's saying the X-rays were negative?
Yes.
So why would he miss any time?
I mean, even though he doesn't have a broken bone or anything, it could be sore, it could
Sore
be bruised.
hand.
You don't know. I
Well,
mean,
you got till Wednesday to figure that out, right?
Exactly.
He doesn't have to do
Just
anything.
ice it up. He'll be fine.
All right, just tape an as John Cooper would say, tape an aspirin to it.
Let's
Get back out there. Tape an
throw a
aspirin
flag
to it.
at the ref.
Let's go to the phone lines real quick. Brian, hi, Brian in Cleveland.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. How are you feeling this morning?
I'm used to Browns losses on Sunday, so it's nothing new.
We hear you. We hear you. Give me your biggest thoughts on yesterday's game.
Well, I totally agreed with what Kenny said. The only problem I have is after last game, we have the whole stadium chanting Johnny's name. Everybody's pumped. We have a victory. And then all of a sudden, we're